Congressional District, a district represented by my colleague, Congresswoman Young Kim. Kayla writes to us from at 26, I was diagnosed with brain cancer, a discovery I was only able to make because of Medicaid. Without it, I wouldn't have been able to get the treatment I need to survive. That diagnosis changed my life. And while I am grateful to be here, I can no longer work. Now I rely on disability benefits, food stamps, just to get by. These programs are the only reason I'm able to live. Without this support, I don't know how I would manage. Kayla lives in Colorado's 2nd Congressional District, a district represented by the Assistant Democratic leader, Joe Neguse. Kayla, I can say to you that your Congress member is fighting hard to protect you, just like every single member of the House Democratic Caucus. Ashley writes to us from Colorado. She says, my life was saved by the Affordable Care Act. Because of this act, I was able to stay on my parents' health insurance when I couldn't get any coverage. At the time, I was dealing with a myriad of health issues and would eventually be diagnosed with multiple chronic illnesses. Because of the ACA, when my husband and I were married, I was able to be added to his insurance without being denied due to pre-existing conditions. Prior to the act being passed, I was denied coverage and care many times. If I was even approved for coverage, it cost me thousands per month in premiums. I was being penalized, Mr. Speaker, for being sick. There were many times when I could not get coverage that I had to choose between which prescriptions I would get to have or whether I would get all my meds or the groceries we needed. You know, there are far too many people in the United States of America right now, before experiencing the devastating consequences of this one big, ugly bill, who have to choose between putting food on the table, clothing on their backs, access to medication, or paying the rent. The United States of America is the wealthiest country in the history of the world. Not a single hard-working American taxpayer should ever have to choose between food or medicine or rent or putting clothing on their back. Not a single hard-working American taxpayer should ever have to make that choice. If people did not have to worry about health care being accessible, they would be able to be seen when necessary. And when people are able to see doctors when they are unwell, They can stay healthy for longer periods of time. When people can stay healthy, they don't miss work. When people don't miss work, they don't risk losing their jobs. The way things work now only encourages the constant classist act of keeping the sick and poor. This should never, ever be a situation in a country that claims to have the best functioning economy in the world, the best doctors, the best universities. Ashley lives in Colorado's 3rd congressional district.
Gentleman is not recognized. The House will be in order.
Ashley
New York's recognized.
Lives in Colorado's 3rd congressional district, represented by my colleague, Congressman Jeff Hurd. And also writes from Colorado. Through the Medicaid waiver, Scott and son was placed in a group living situation that worked out for a while, but was eventually kicked out. After that, he moved back in with me, but ended up homeless once more, before finally being placed back on a Medicaid waiver program. Now he's doing really well. His job, which he loves, also receives funding through Medicaid, so that people with disabilities can be employed and be productive members of the community. Without Medicaid, he probably wouldn't be alive today. Without this assistance, we likely wouldn't be where we are now. And I doubt that there would be a happy ending to this story. Ann lives in Colorado's 6th congressional district, a district represented by our colleague, Congressman Jason Crow, who is also fighting hard to protect your interests, and as every single one of us in the House Democratic Caucus will continue to do. We believe in America, healthcare is not simply a privilege that should be afforded to the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-connected. It's a right that should be available to everyone. A right that is still imperfect at this moment, that we are working hard to perfect. But this one big ugly bill, the largest attack on healthcare, Mr. Speaker, in the United States of America, moves us in the opposite direction. Daniela is also from Colorado. She writes to us, Medicaid has been a lifeline for our family, especially for my 5-year-old daughter who has autism. That's the thing, Mr. Speaker. Medicaid is important for so many Americans all across this country, including people with disabilities. It's a necessary lifeline so that parents can help their children live a better life with dignity and respect. Why would any legislation that this House passes attack healthcare available to families that are pouring in everything they have to help their child under difficult circumstances live the best possible life? It perplexes me, Mr. Speaker, that this bill would go after the health care of people like Daniela and her 5-year-old daughter. Daniela says that as parents, we've faced many struggles, trying to balance full-time work, starting a real estate business, and still being there for our 3 other children. It's been overwhelming at times, and finding the right support for her hasn't always been easy. But Medicaid has provided therapy and services that have made a world of difference in her life. These therapies have helped her make progress, feel seen, and connect with her peers, which means everything to us. It's allowed her to be a part of the world, to feel included, and to overcome obstacles that seem insurmountable at times.
We've got these varicose veins all over your legs here. Let's talk about some of the ways we can treat that for you.
Mr. Speaker, Daniela lives in Colorado's 8th Congressional District, a district currently represented by Congressman Gabe Evans.